What does IPR stand for? That is intellectual property rights. Which of the following is not a category of intellectual property? That is security. A patent protects industrial invention. Copyright protects literary and artist works. Trademark protects symbols, logos and brand names. Which treaty establishes the framework for international copyright protection? That is Berne Convention. The Paris Convention deals primarily with the patents, trademarks and industrial designs. Which international organization administers most global IPR treaties? That is WIPO. The TRIPS agreement is associated with World Trade Organization. Which of the following is not protected by the patents? A literary novel. How long does copyright protection generally last for an author? The life of the author plus 60 years. Which type of intellectual property protects industrial design rights? Which law protects the geographical origin of the goods? Geographical indications law. Which is an example of a trade secret? That is Coca-Cola recipe. Infringement of copyright means using copyright work without permissions. The term fair use in copyright law allows limited use without permission under specific conditions. Which of the following is a multilateral treaty on intellectual property? That is Berne Convention. The main purpose of IPR law is to encourage innovation and creativity. Which of these is not a remedy for IPR infringement? That is tax exemption. The Patent Cooperation Treaty facilitates filing patents internationally. Which of the following is true about trademarks? That is, they must be registered to get protection. Which international treaty protects performance, phonographs and broadcasts? That is Rome Convention. Which Indian law governs copyright? That is the Copyright Act 1957. Which of the following is a violation of trademark law? Using similar logo to mislead consumers. Which IPR category allows protection for software programs? That is copyright. Invention must be novel, means it must be new and not known before. The WTO agreement related to IPR is TRIPS. Which IPR protects the look and feel of a product? That is design rights. Copyright protects expression of ideas. The term moral rights in copyright includes right to claim authorship and object to distortion. The term of patent is usually 20 years from the filing date. A license in IPR means grant permission to use IP rights by the owner. Which convention facilitates the international registration of trademark? Madrid Protocol. Which law protects the original literary, dramatic, musical and artist work? That is Copyright Act. Compulsory licensing allows anyone to use patent without consent under government authorization. Which of the following treaty is administered by the WIPO? That is Berne Convention, Paris Convention and Madrid Protocol. IPR enforcement is mainly concerned with the protecting right holders' interests. Which of the following is not protected by copyright? Scientific discoveries. Trademark infringement involves unauthorized use of a mark likely to confuse consumers. Which Indian Act governs patents? That is Patents Act 1970. Which of the following is an example of a geographical indication? That is Darjeeling tea. The Hague Agreement relates to industrial design protection, which is a major challenge in IPR enforcement globally, that is piracy and counterfeiting. Trade secrets are protected by the legislation on confidentiality. The WTO TRIPS agreement came into effect in 1995, which is not a right under copyright, right to sell trademarks. Which law protects the visual design of objects? That is design law. The Rome Convention protects performance producer or pornographs and broadcasting organization. Public domain means works free of copyright restriction. The Berne Convention requires member countries to provide automatic copyright protection without formalities.